But let's welcome management we've been waiting for to chat with. Pirojsha Godrej, Executive Chairman at Godrej Properties, joins us in the show right now after their performance in the earnings gone by. Pirojsha, hi, morning. Walk us through the highlights of your Q4. What were the key projects that underwent revenue recognition in the quarter gone by?
Yeah, it's been a good quarter and a good financial year for the company. The fourth quarter, the highlights included that we had sales of over 1,000 crore in terms of booking value during the quarter for the fourth consecutive quarter. It's the first time in the company's history that every quarter in the financial year has seen sales in excess of 1,000 crore. So I think that's been quite encouraging. We had a very strong launch of a new project in the NCR market called Godrej Nature Plus, where we sold about 250 apartments during the quarter with a booking value of about 245 crore. One of the big highlights for both the quarter and the financial year has actually been the sales performance from existing inventory, where we saw a tripling of our run rate of sales from existing inventory in FY18 over FY17. We actually had a higher number of sales from existing inventory than we did from new launches during the financial year, which I think is the first time we've had that in recent memory. And what that does is actually allows for a greater percentage of collections from each sale, which in turn led to our best ever collections performance, and that resulted in generating about 1,800 crores of operating cash flow during the year, which allowed us to reduce our net debt by about 650 crore while simultaneously increasing the company's development portfolio quite significantly through 12 new project additions during the financial year.
So what were the projects that came on stream in FY18? Significant achievements in terms of value unlocking as well. Walk us through the highlights.
Yeah, I think the thing that's probably most gratifying for FY18 is the performance the team's been able to deliver in terms of scaling the business, in terms of sales achieved during the year. So the real estate sector has actually had a tough year. The overall sector, we think, has declined by about 20% during the year. The introduction of the Real Estate Regulatory Act, GST, and a weak property market all contributed to that. Despite some of those headwinds, I think the Godrej Properties sales performance has been exceptionally strong. We saw our own sales grow by 150% during the year to over 5,000 crore. As I mentioned, we had very strong distribution of those sales between each of the 4 quarters. We also had very strong distribution amongst different geographies. So one of our stated goals for the company is to be amongst the leading players as measured by value of real estate sold in each of the top 4 real estate markets in India, which are Mumbai, NCR, Bangalore, and Pune. And during the financial year 18, we were able to achieve a strong outcome in each of those 4 markets. So in each market, we sold more than 1.25 million square feet of real estate with a booking value in excess of 800 crore. In NCR and Pune, we think we were likely the largest developer by value of real estate sold. In Mumbai, we think we were the second largest, and in Bangalore, likely the third largest, although we're of course waiting final data from our peers in the sector. So I think that was clearly the highlight, that in a tough year for the sector, we saw a dramatic increase in the scale of our own sales and saw very strong geographic distribution and quarterly distribution in those sales. The other key highlight was the performance of sales from existing inventory as opposed to new launches. We've historically had a strong track record of new launches, but this year one of the areas we wanted to focus disproportionately on was sales from existing inventory, and as I mentioned, that was a key area of success as well.
Now, you're looking at raising about 1,000 crores through equity fund or through the equity fundraising exercise. What is the reason, and why are you looking at raising capital right now?
Yes, we're quite happy to announce that the board today approved an agreement to raise on a preferential allotment basis 1,000 crore from an entity that is a company that is managed by GIC out of Singapore. And I think the rationale for the fundraise is entirely to fund new business development. As I mentioned, we think the current weakness in the real estate sector presents a tremendous opportunity to a company like us to add new projects to our portfolio and that I think is the single most important operating deliverable during the current financial year. And this infusion of equity capital will give us additional resources to make sure that we're able to fully capitalize on the business development opportunity we currently see in the market.
Operational in Q4, there has been a loss despite a higher contribution which has come from the Godrej tree projects. Why is that?
No, actually that's, there were a few exceptional items during the quarter, but the operating EBITDA has been very positive. The exceptional items were both on the plus side. We sold a stake in a commercial project here in Vikhroli called Godrej 2, through which we generated a fair amount of profit. But we also had during the quarter taken some write-downs on the remaining inventory in some of our older commercial projects in Kolkata and Chandigarh, and we think doing that will enable us to more quickly monetize those projects. So if you exclude all of those exceptional items, the operating EBITDA was quite positive.
Okay, Pirojsha, appreciate your time and thank you for joining us. Meanwhile, markets, if we look at what's going on there, we've stabilized. China is up. PC Jeweler is